What's going on, guys? It's your boy, baby. Make sure you check out this amazing mat from the TSX One Shop. Thanks for watching. I am not a pack opening channel. Wanna accuse me of stealing content? Well, let's see how you have a field day with 4 different intros stolen. What are you gonna do about it? With the NAWCQ this weekend and the weekend after we have the EUWCQ, I thought this would be quite a relevant time to sit down one-on-one, you and your boy here, to discuss and talk about the events, the meta. Oh, it's almost as if this is some kind of a meta-analysis. Is that copyright infringement as well? A couple weeks ago at the UK national event, I came 115th out of the entire population of the United Kingdom. That's like 50 million people or something. It was a 4,000 Swiss event because it was 40 million attendance, and I placed 150. So the point I'm trying to make here is that I kind of know what I'm talking about. Big if true, I'm kind of a big deal on this little place called Dueling Book. Maybe you've heard of it. I'm not gonna spend the entire video plugging this or mentioning it or talking about it for any prolonged duration or anything like that. I would never sit and just mention over and over the fact that I came top 128, got my mat and my invite to the EUWCQ. I'm not gonna spend the whole video talking about that. It's not a big deal really. It's irrelevant. You know, we should probably just move on and talk about something else because I don't want to spend too much time talking about how I got 115th, just in case anyone was wondering. However, I did get 115th, so that's it's actually kind of shit now that I think about it. Anyway, let's go over the decks, which are the top tier, I suppose. Most meta contending you would expect are Salamangreat, Sky Striker, Thunder Dragon, and the other one that the name didn't quite catch on, mostly because I haven't been uploading so much, but it's Locust. Normal players, Orcust. Dyslexic players, Locusts. But we'll get onto that in a second. So let's start it off with Sky Striker. Everyone's most entertaining and probably the most fun deck of the format, of course. Sky Striker. Let's talk about that. What do we say about Sky Striker? What do we say about Sky Striker? There's this card called Sky Striker Engage, which when activated is able to search a Sky Striker card from your deck and then place it into your hand. And then on resolution, it checks if there's 3 or more spells in your graveyard. Then you can draw a card for free. A bonus card. A bonus card for having spells in the graveyard. Well, Sky Striker, I guess, is worth mentioning because it did win a pretty big and prestigious event, which I actually was partaking in. I actually got 115th in that event. Like I said, I don't want to like dwell on that. It's not important. It's, you know, it's not really relevant to the video or anything. So we should probably just move on. But the point is that was like a 700-man event or something. Sky Striker managed to take that. What can I say? Last video or something, I mentioned something along the lines of Sky Striker never going to win a major event again. Is the UK National Championship a major event? See, we're in a bit of a paradox here. If I say the UK National Championship isn't a major event, my 115th place at that event, which isn't important or relevant to the discussion and it's probably something we should stop talking about, if I say it's not a major event, then that nullifies that amazing achievement. But at the same time, because Sky Striker won it would mean that the claim that I made in that previous video, saying that Sky Striker would not win a major event again, becomes wrong. Hairy internet funny man was actually wrong. Haha, Farfa was wrong. Got him! Ah, idiot. Stupid guy didn't know the thing. Predict the future. Why didn't the moron on the internet predict the future? Widow Anchor is a good card. Shark Cannon is also a good card. People didn't expect this deck, and surprisingly, the deck that actually topped this event, or won the event actually, is Mindless. Mindless? Mindless. The build that managed to win this event was playing no mine, and I guess it was just relying on ye old faithful The old faithful engage. Draw a card, draw a hand trap, draw a Widow Anchor, draw a Shark Cannon, disrupt your opponent. It's just bread and butter Yu-Gi-Oh, right? If GOAT was a 2019 deck, well, it would probably be Sky Striker. Do I think that this deck is meta relevant? Well, clearly it doesn't matter what I say anymore because I'm just going to be wrong. But I think that this deck is, it's okay. It's solid, but I feel like it's kind of like a boneless Salamangreat. It's a good control deck, but I just feel like if you wanted to play a control deck, I would rather just play Salamangreat because it's just, I feel like it's just a all-around stronger, better, versatile control deck. Honestly, guys, it's not going to win the NEWCQ or EDU SuperQ, okay? It won't win. It's impossible. It can't win it, right? There's too many good players attending these events. Unlike the UK National Championship, which I attended, got 115th at, that didn't have like star players at. The EU WCQ and the NEWCQ is going to have a lot of just insanely good players, and they're not gonna let the deck top. It won't. It won't. Heard it here first. All right, now that we got the fun deck out of the way, the fun deck, let's talk about the most interactive deck of the format, and that's Thunder Dragons. Interactivity is the name of the game here. Activate some cards. 10 minutes later, Blink-182 might have tried yet another comeback tour. My Chemical Romance maybe have come back together and formed a band again. World War IV has probably just ended. A long time later, Thunder Dragon has established like 4 negates and stuff like that, etc, etc. Jesse Cotton has taken this deck and carried it really hard. His back is in agony. I think he got like 2 second places before he won an event with Thunder Dragon. Finally got there in the end, and yes, Thunder Dragon, you can stop with the memes now, okay? Thunder Dragon has won an event, all right? Just stop, okay? No more memes. Memes are gone. Subscription cancelled to Thunder Dragon never winning an event meme, okay? It's won an event now. Yep, cool. I think that it's going to be inaccessible to a lot of players because generally even like the decently competitive players, not like the super top tier players, will probably want to consider money a little bit for these events, and investing in a full Thunder Dragon deck is still kind of probably a kidney, maybe a liver if you're lucky. You could probably get away with just selling your appendix if you don't need that anymore, you know, if you wanted to get some extra pocket money. We saw Jesse include some interesting techs like the Crusadia engine, which when your opponent gives you a zone, if they end with, for example, just a Shizuku or a Sunlight Wolf, you're able to put a monster on the board for free, maybe even pop a card to bait out Salamangreat Roar, for example. And then after that, you're able to combo off with your dangers and stuff, establish a board, sorry, you do your thing, you know, the usual. If you have this like almost autistic style of like learning combos to the point where you can just like do it in your sleep, I would 100% recommend this deck. For people who have room temperature IQ such as myself, don't play this deck, okay? It's pretty hard, okay? Just stick to engage, search, anchor, pass, okay? That, between you and me, that's about as much as we can manage, all right? Just try that, all right? That's more appropriate to your level. Activate engage. It's the only combo I need. Next up is Salamangreat, and this is my pick for these events, personally. I believe that Salamangreat is the best deck. Obviously not the most powerful deck, but I think it's the best deck in the sense that it's just so versatile. I feel like the meta right now is at a stage where it's really kind of diverse. Like really, really kind of diverse. Good English, speech 100. The meta right now is super diverse, okay? You have like 4 top tier decks with a bunch of other things sprinkled around it, like Pendulum or True Drake or whatever, or Altergeist even. So there's a lot of different things you can play. And rather than just hard losing to like a turn 1 Dweller, which sometimes Salamangreat can just establish quite easily, and then just completely destroy Orcus players, for example, I think that this deck is really probably the best pick because of the ability to just make Dweller turn 1. It has just such a broad, versatile matchup versus everything. There isn't Salamangreat is particularly bad against. This deck is just, what can I say, dude? It's bread and butter. Already used that analogy for Sky Strike, but that's okay, that's okay. We're out here copying our own content, all right? That's fine. It's just a good deck. It has so much flexibility in how you build it. You can fit so many different kinds of hand traps for so many different matchups and side basically any kind of card you want, and you'll be fine with this deck. And I think that for that reason, Salamangreat is probably... Don't say it, 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 don't say it. Jokingly the best deck for these events. And finally, we're moving on to the deck that I played at the UK National Champ. Stop it. Okay. let's start over. Locust is a deck which I think has an amazing turn 1 board, but even then, I don't think the turn 1 of Orcust is particularly unbreakable. Unless, of course, obviously you open like Winda Crescendo Babel, then yeah, okay, no deck is beating that. But a lot of decks can kind of just grind through the standard sort of, you know, Babel double Fogblade or Crescendo double Fogblade with a good enough hand, like Thunder Dragon and Salamangreat, maybe even Sky Striker. They can kind of play through that, like, you know, with a decent enough hand, they can definitely push through. And that's, I think, one of the major problems, I believe, with this deck, compared to Thunder Dragon, which, if it goes first and combos, I feel like 9 times out of 10, that's just, like, game. Whereas if Orcust goes first and combos, it's not always game. Like, you probably will win most of the games you go first, but at the same time, I don't think it's, like the most impressive, insane field we've ever seen in this game. So for that reason, I think Orcust isn't as strong as people think. Mermaid is really, really vulnerable, and I get we're playing cards like, you know, Eagle Booster to try and make our Mermaid resolve. Call by the Grave, obviously, staple. But at the same time, you know, if your opponent has more than one hand trap, well, they can chain another one and stop your Mermaid there and then, which, you know, decks like Sky Striker and Salamangreat, the most important one, are playing multiple hand traps. And trying to combo off through multiple hand trap with Locust is pretty weak indeed. If you want to play a combo deck, I just feel like Danger Thunder Dragon is just better in almost every shape and sense. You have more OTK potential going second than Locust, I believe. You have more game-ending turn 1 boards compared to Locust, in my opinion. And you don't lose as hard to certain cards in the same way that Locust does. Yes, Dweller, Lancia do hurt the Thunder Dragon deck, but at the same time, I don't think it's anywhere near to the extent that Locust can be hit. So how would I rank these decks? Well, for these events, like I said, I would choose Salamangreat. That's the one I would play. If I was really like 400 IQ, galactic cranium level of intelligent, I would play Thunder Dragon. So I guess those are like first and second tied depending on who you are as a player. After that, you know, I don't even think I would play Orcust ahead of Sky Striker. Like, that's how much I think the deck just, like, gets absolutely shit on by side cards. It's a good deck, but at the same time, like, you know, there's so many engine requirements. You're going to be bricking sometimes. Like, the Lancia is just, ugh, you know? I would honestly rather play, like, Pendulum, which I haven't mentioned in this video because I kind of wanted to stick to the top tier ones. But yeah, not looking good for Locust this event. I think it's going to top. I wouldn't even be surprised if it won. At the same time, though, I just think you're going to be seeing way more representation in Top Cut from Salamangreat. Maybe even Thunder Dragon if a lot of people actually have access to the deck. So that brings us to the end of our meta-analysis, I guess. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you check out my Discord. You guys can hang out in the community. I stream it basically every day of the week as well, so I have Twitch. All the stuff is down in the description. Follow me on Twitter, etc. Subscribe, and until next time, adios.
Keep spending most our lives living